I'm back with The Captain of Her Own Heart, Part 7. Despite Benjamin's fierce vow of loyalty, the unrest in Olivia's heart had not completely faded. As a devoted wife, she still pondered in her solitude how she could fulfill Benjamin's unspoken dream of fatherhood. Olivia felt that to resolve this great crisis, she needed the counsel of someone with immense wisdom, stature, and vision. In the entire world, she knew no one more compassionate, brilliant, and trustworthy than Isla. She resolved to share the most private sorrow of her marriage with her guardian angel. One late afternoon, Olivia arrived at Isla's executive suite, noticeably distressed. Seeing her pale face and anxious demeanor, Isla immediately pushed her work aside. With trembling hands, Olivia set her teacup down and broke her silence. She unfolded the story of their years of infertility, Benjamin's hidden longing to be a father, her own painful proposal for a second marriage, and Benjamin's absolute, fiery refusal. Finally, with a pleading tone, she said, "Isla, you are the only one I trust. Benjamin deprives himself out of pure devotion to me. I beg of you, with your high standing and knowledge of the city's finest families, to find a worthy, noble woman for Benjamin, so we might somehow convince him together." Hearing these words shook Isla to her absolute core. She was profoundly stunned, and for a few terrifying moments, a cold dread gripped her soul. Her heart raced with a sudden panic. Did Olivia somehow find out about her secret love? Was this a calculated test designed by Olivia to confront her? Summoning every ounce of her executive composure, Isla managed to keep her face perfectly calm despite the storm raging inside. She listened with deep empathy, comforting Olivia and promising to look into the matter. The moment Olivia stepped out of the office, Isla acted swiftly. Using her discreet networks and subtle investigations, she sought to confirm if Olivia had caught wind of her hidden feelings. After thorough verification, the truth became clear: Olivia was entirely oblivious. The proposal was born solely out of Olivia's own tragic, selfless devotion. Once assured of Olivia's innocence, a wave of indescribable joy and exhilarating hope rushed through Isla. Her heart whispered that fate, after years of silent sacrifice, was finally unlocking the door to her dreams. She was now closer than ever to her ultimate destiny, to be by Benjamin's side and finally become the princess of his world. Yet, Isla knew that in this fragile situation, a single misstep could shatter everything. She had to proceed with absolute caution, profound intelligence, and utmost delicacy. Benjamin was a man who would never easily compromise his devotion to Olivia, and Olivia was a woman Isla genuinely respected. Isla needed to weave a path where, without breaking Olivia's spirit or insulting Benjamin's fierce loyalty, she herself would emerge as the only fitting, redeeming answer to their prayers. This marked the beginning of a captivating emotional chess game, where fate prepared to balance three lives in a magnificent new light. The nights in Silverport had turned into a silent battlefield for Benjamin. Once, his only concern was pulling nets from the wild waves, but now he found himself surrounded by a storm of emotions, unyielding commitments, and monumental sacrifices. He could sense the careful whispers in his home, and knew that Olivia remained completely resolute in pushing him toward this life-altering choice. Benjamin was trapped in a deep, agonizing dilemma. On one hand, he was madly in love with Olivia. She was the one he had built everything with from nothing, the one who held his entire soul. He worried constantly that even if Olivia gave her absolute consent, this decision would secretly break her heart in the shadows. Yet, on the other hand, the heavy weight of the secret he had read in Isla's journal years ago pressed upon his conscience. He realized that if he were to ever yield to Olivia's desperate plea for the sake of a child, there was only one woman in the entire universe who could fill that role, not as a random arrangement, but as a profound return of sacrifice, Isla. Benjamin thought to himself, if I must take this path to ease Olivia's guilt and bring a child into this world, why not choose the woman who silently sacrificed her own youth, wealth, and heart for our joy? If I accept Isla, perhaps I can finally answer her years of patient, beautiful devotion. This realization struck a complex, compelling balance in his mind, a fierce intersection between protecting his love for Olivia and honoring his silent debt to Isla. One late afternoon, as a thick mist rolled over the docks, Isla came down to inspect the new logistics warehouses. Benjamin found a quiet moment to speak with her alone in the shelter of the old pier. Both knew what Olivia had set in motion, yet the barrier of their long-standing silence remained between them. Holding his cap tightly, Benjamin turned to Isla, his voice deeper and more resonant than ever. "Ms. Vance. Olivia spoke to you, didn't she? She wants to free me from a ghost of guilt. But she doesn't know that my heart is bound by loyalty to the ones who built my life." Isla paused, her gaze resting on the foggy horizon. She spoke softly yet firmly, "Benjamin, Olivia only wants your absolute happiness. She is willing to break herself, so you can be whole. And I have only ever wanted what is best for this family." Benjamin took a step closer, his eyes locked onto hers, a gaze that carried the unspoken weight of the secret journal. "If the day comes where I must act to keep Olivia at peace, I will never turn to a stranger. I would only ever choose the one whose heart has watched over us for years. But my greatest terror remains, will Olivia's heart truly survive it? Is she genuinely at peace, or will this sacrifice be the end of our sanctuary?" Isla was stunned by his clarity and the depth of his understanding. She realized that Benjamin not only knew her secret, but was actively trying to balance a grand equation of gratitude. This brought them to the absolute precipice of a decision that could rewrite the meaning of love and devotion in Silverport forever. If you enjoy romantic stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thank you for watching.